family time is very important. And that's why we were looking at the challenges of being busy people and to be able to manage the family and to be present. What social media does is it takes us away from the present moment, right? So bringing mindfulness into the family and being present. When you're there for them unconditionally.
Hey guys, welcome back to Start Young, and in today's episode I'm going to share with you why it's important to set family goals. So often we are comfortable with setting goals for ourselves, setting goals for the business, but we forget that as a family who we truly love, and it's usually our number one priority, and yet we don't have a family goal. So I'm going to take you behind the scenes with a conversation between me and my life coach, who has helped my family to develop our own family values and allowed us to also set some milestone goals that we can achieve things together. So I hope you enjoy. Everybody, welcome. I will bring Uma here, and please ask us any questions at all. Uma is a real life coach. She has all the answers in her mind. We're here live with you, so please take advantage of asking us any questions at all so that we could help you and your family as well. So you had a way of asking questions and bringing out the best of us through this 2-hour session. Me and my husband came out with everything, right? Can you imagine? It only took 2 hours to come up with a vision, mission, and values, etc. And so, let's talk behind the scenes of, the importance of having family goals.
Absolutely. Why goals? Because goal is what? Goal is pretty much a dream with a deadline. We put some dates around the dream so that we can make our desires come true. But most people, there's this wonderful quote that says that a man who fails to plan plans to fail. Let's come back to this. Why are we even talking about plans and goals for families? The whole point is when it comes to business, when it comes to work, when it comes to academics, any other sports, fitness, all of us have got goals, right? However, when it comes to family, when it comes to couples and relationships, people don't set goals. Because why? We just take things for granted that, it'll work. But actually, it won't work until you make things work, yeah? So that's what's behind the concept of having goals. I just absolutely enjoyed facilitating your holistic goal setting session for your family, the couple session, which was really fascinating. I learned so much from you both, It's so fascinating, yeah.
No one ever tells us, or we never get taught in school that we need to do a family goal. Like you said, right? It's kind of thing, or even when you get married or when you become a parent, you just become one. There's no classes for that. And so, as a family, no one really tells us to treat it as a business, because I feel like being an entrepreneur has really taught me that you can set any dreams you want. You can design your life. You can have a very fulfilled financial or time freedom. If only you know exactly what you want, you create habits around it, you create, little milestones, everything like that. And so I had this aha moment. I'm like, okay, well, if I want to design a really amazing family life, why don't I treat it like a business, right? And then have all the parties involved and then go, okay, how do we bring this business of a family together? And so I think what I said to you was, I just want to feel progress. And here's the thing that I've learned about life and through Tony Robbins as well. It's like happiness is progress. If I just feel like we're progressing together somehow, I know that we're just going to feel very engaged in the relationship and we're happier, right? But even if it's a small progress, even it means we're learning something together a little bit. But if two people are on a different journey, if one person is, progressing in their own way in a different aspect of life and the other person's another way, it's still a different experience. But how do you have some joint goals that you want to kick together, right? Because to me, even fitness goals or something is like, I guess your body, it's my body, but there is something, it's like, how do we work towards a fulfilled and happy family is the ultimate goal, and how do we progress that? So on that day, we started talking to you and you said to us, okay, I can't remember exactly the process anymore, but you tell us through the steps that you took.
So let's start with how we started your session. So basically we started with how were things in the past, past 1 year, how things have been working for you. And then the next thing was, how do you want things to work for you in the upcoming year? And then, all right, so where's the gap? And what was very, very interesting in your session was to see that both of you had similar goals and similar aspirations, isn't it? It was mind-blowing to see that as we were progressing, and the way Philip opened up, it was so beautiful. Oh my goodness, no wonder you fell in love with him. And, you've had this beautiful family and relationship. Such a lovely person. He was so open to the discussion, especially for men, because, it's not a very comfortable thing to be doing. Women are quite easy and comfortable with these kind of sessions. But when it comes to men, not all men, some of them might find it uncomfortable. But I found it was just amazing. And I think it expressed a lot, it showed out. He demonstrated so much of his love for you. And in even showing up that day meant that he valued something about what you were valuing, isn't it? You might not be knowing really, are we on the same page? Do we have the same shared values? But when we start talking, you see so much synergy between the two of you.
Yeah, and I what I found is that having someone else outside of the relationship who is also a professional, right? It's not a friend who's just going to sit there and let you vent and hear you out. This is someone that it's going to guide and coach you. And so having that kind of person, there was already a trust. I found that my husband, he'd never really done coaching before. I've always done coaching, so it's a different experience. Yeah, secretly, I want him to like coaching because I know that it's just going to make him continue to develop and grow and have a happy life. And so him really opening up to you was very surprising for me, but then it wasn't surprising because I'm like, it's because he can trust that you're doing your professional job. You know that, you're here to do a job of bringing the best out of us. So he really played it all out, which is really good. Now, that's why sometimes you can't just do it yourself. Sometimes people go, oh, let me fix my problem first and then I'll go and do something about it. Or no, you actually go and get help. And we don't really have anything we're fixing right now. We're just wanting to go from good to great, right? But I find that sometimes you really have to bring a third party in to help, because I don't think I could ever sit there and just deep dive and talk deep. If I go to him, how do you feel today? He's like, good. What's good? I don't know, work, like just he doesn't want to really deep dive because he's not having a coaching session. He's just having conversation. And like you said, women love to describe and analyze and go deep into their feelings and describe every step of the way. But men aren't like that. And if you as a woman want a man to do that, they're going to also think you're weird. Like, why are you trying to make me talk like you? What I've learned is, so don't go out to your husband or partner and say, hey, we need to do coaching together, or we need to do counseling, let's say. I think that is already like a red flag. Whereas I said, let's set goals together. We're going to do a goal setting workshop, which he was very open, because it's talking in his language, because he's familiar with businesses and companies. So yeah, that was how we got started. And then I remember then you asked us to reflect our will of life and let us analyze how we feel we perform in all these areas of life. And our charts look quite different, right?
Of course, yes. And so, yeah, just like you said, touching on that was, again, not going and telling them, hey, let's do a coaching or a counseling. And they're like, what's wrong with me? Because most people think, what's wrong? There's something should be wrong for me to go and do this. But actually, no, it's more of a proactive way. And as you said, men love challenges. They love to solve problems. They love to set goals and they love to achieve. So looking into this in the perspective of a goal setting was very, very comfortable. I say, as we mentioned, when he came in, he was so open. He was very true. He had the level of trust. And, also knowing that when I started, I remember this is totally non-judgmental. It is confidential. It's a safe space. You can share as much as you want. And I saw so much of a rapport between the two of you. And both of you were really leaning into the session. That synergy really showed up as you were talking. As you mentioned, we moved on to the wheel of life. Why? Because most of us, when we talk about life, we pick some key areas. We might talk about finances, talk about career, family, and then that might be predominantly what people focus on. But when we come to life, it's like, the wheel of life is like taking a pizza and, there's cutting them into 8 and those small triangles. That's how you want to have a look at it. So we got Lynn and Philip to do the wheel of life, take a piece of paper and pen, and they were drawing the wheel of life. And because Lynn is very, very familiar with this, she was like, she quickly got it done. And then she was guiding Philip too, but they were doing it individually. So in that wheel of life, we picked areas like health, wealth, career, family, social, anything. Anybody can add anything you can add or reduce, but these are the key areas. And then adventure or leisure, and you can add your social life, you can add spirituality, religion. You can do it any way you want. Just add the flavors that matters to you in your life, right? So once you've done, you've written what are the key areas of your life. From 0 to 10, you go and mark where you are in that particular area in your life, right? Current, not aspirational, But actual. So both Lynn and Philip were marking, they were doing the individual thing. They had picked up their individual areas of their life and marking them down. And you tell me, Lynn, how did you go with that? How did you both enjoy that?
It was really good, yeah, because I got to understand what he perceives his life to be like, and I can see that he's quite hard on himself. He kind of rated it a lot lower than I see it, because I'm kind of more lighthearted and optimistic kind of a person, sorry. And so, yeah, my scores was different. It was just nice to know more about your partner, because if you, without that framework, without analyzing, doing that audit almost, then like I said, your conversations are normally very shallow. You just go, yeah, seems great. Yeah, I'm happy with this area. Yeah, like, are you happy with your house? Yeah, I'm all right, but it's really rating it, really going why, what's the gap. So I really, really love that too. And then let's talk about how did we manage to get into the mission, the values, and the goal. Now let's go to the meaty part.
So once you did the Wheel of Life, both of you, it was surprising to see, as you said, Philip had really rated him very low in some of the areas. And then, no, I think you're really doing good. And was like, yeah, I think I'm really doing good in these areas. And actually, you both matched the areas that you picked up in your life. And also your scores pretty much matched in most areas of your life, which was fantastic. And although it was there, it was not obvious because you hadn't spoken about it, right? So that was really beautiful. And moving on from there, we went into setting what was your master goal. So that's where it came down to, we want to be more present. We want to be compassionate. We want to be grateful. So we put that all together to discuss. This morning, I was looking into vision, mission, and value statement. I was so pleased to see that how far we came, in that session, starting from, where do we go, where do we want to go, and ending up with the vision, mission, and values, statements was just amazing. So basically that came through because both of you, we picked up, how do you want your life to be? What do you want your family to be ultimately about? Say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, when you look back at your life, what do you want it to be all about? So both of you, I asked you to write it individually, right? Your vision statements, we wrote it individually to say that we want to have fun. We want to have excitement, passion. We want to have a very passionate family, filled with fun. So those were, both of you picked those things. And discipline came up as one very important aspect for Philip. Is that discipline is very important. Family time is very important. And that's where we were looking at the challenges of being busy people and to be able to manage the family and to be present. What social media does is it takes us away from the present moment, right? So bringing mindfulness into the family and being present. When you're there for them unconditionally, so setting times to do that. So that's how beautifully we navigated into your vision statement. So what is a vision statement? For those who are watching, vision statement is all about what do you want to achieve in your life in terms of where do you see yourself in a couple of years' time. Mission is how do you get there. And then we broke down your vision statement into mission statement, saying that this is how we are going to get there, by being compassionate, by being honest, by being open, by being transparent, and, having fun in the journey of doing this, because always it's not the destination, is it? Destination, yes, you arrive. Then how many of you get to the destination and feel flat? What more here? You want to be in flow every day. So when you get to your destination, you feel fascinated. Otherwise, you fall flat. So being in flow comes from being present. So you both agreed unanimously. And you know what, Lynn, was very interesting to me? You both started as a couple session. You said couple session. So I'm thinking there's more about your, emotional intimacy. It's more about just the two of you. But both of you were just bringing the family in. And actually, it was a family goal setting, although we didn't have the kids with us. It ended up for the family. It was not just about the two of you. And that showed how much family mattered to both of you and how much you valued and cared about it. So that's when we went into the mission statement.
I think what came out of it is that no wonder why we've still, quite in love with each other after 10 years together now. I think we're married, we're 10 years wedding anniversary next year. And luckily, it's because we have the same values. Like our number one value is family. So, he's kind of a homebody. He doesn't care about going out and making friends, and he just wants to be with the family. And I too am just working hard and wanting to succeed in business so I could provide even more for the family. So our goals were the same, but how we choose to get there is a little bit different. And we're also just not talking to one another about it, right? And so, yes, it is easier in that if you have an aligned goal, you kind of work things out, and you might have little a bickering and a little debates and fighting along the way, but you always make it work because you're on the same journey. But I think where it could fall short, or it's good to find out early when you have a goal setting session like this with for yourself and your partner as a family, is maybe it's time to figure out if you have the same values and alignment, because there's no point in just dragging it on and have this mediocre relationship and you're never really fixing the root of the problem. You keep on fixing the symptoms, like that person annoys you, this person, that, but it's because it's causing from something rooted in them that they haven't really got to explain, and you haven't really explained to yourself. So yeah, so that's the way I saw it, that I was lucky. I was like, phew, we don't have any deep problems because we're so alike. We both want to be really successful in life, to provide for the family, and then to spend time. But there is definitely improvement in how we are doing it. So this led us to look, there's definitely power and benefit to having this big goal, this mission, and this value, and kind of go, yeah, it doesn't end there. It takes little effort. So this is where we said to you, we really want to work on a 30-day goal. What can we do together to feel like we've progressed in 30 days and make us feel like we've learned a new habit, or we're doing something that brings us more closer and present? And yeah, interestingly, we decided that we were going to have a 1 hour, no device time with the family, meaning us and the kids, who we do not touch the phone for a whole hour and see what happens. Now, this goal was really exciting because we came up together. It wasn't me going, I think we should do this. It was both of us. And you were really this seems like a really great goal for both of us to do. And we knew, even though I felt like I was spending some time with the kids, he felt like, I'm good with the kids too. But when we asked ourselves, do we have a full 1 hour attention with our kids every day? Because if you love your family, you should really can dedicate 1 hour, with them. And we thought, we're like, no, actually, we've never really had that full hour unless it's the weekend and maybe we go out. But still, I reckon there was a phone there or the TV there or something is there, right? And so we started doing that.
Yes, and what was interesting is that's what both of you wanted. I didn't see even one area where you discussed and you both had a different opinion. And that was interesting to know, because see, let's be practical. People think, oh, if you're in a relationship, it's all rosy and all gardens. No, there will be ups and downs, and there has to be ups and downs. That's when, you get more closer. If it's all going well, it's so flat and you get just saturated there, right? So a little bit of here and there ups and downs is nice. You both wanted the same thing, but you had actually not languaged it. You had not said it out loud. And to know that that's what you both wanted, that's why you feel so excited that day, knowing that it was the same needs that both of you had for your family. And again, coming back to, talking about, we want to spend quality time. So Rishila, you're not spending time with me, but you're not spending time. But then we both want to spend time. So how do we do this? And that's when you came up with, okay, if you had to achieve that mission. So the way we came to the goal is we set the vision, and then we set the mission, and then we wanted a goal for it. Because if you needed to achieve your mission and vision, you need to have a goal that's going to take you. So the goal that you came up with was spending quality time, because in your vision statement, you had the word present, to be present with the family. So how do you be present? By being, not distracted by anything, shutting off your, all social media devices, anything else, and just that time with family. Because Philip kept saying family time, that dinner time, food time, meal time, sitting together and cherishing. He said, I so much remember the times that we had as family, as kids, those are the memories. And you both were agreeing, it's not about toys and gifts and what we give the kids. It's the experiences that we want to give them, because that's what's going to be memorable for them. So what can we give them? We can give us our time. So you decided, okay, we're going to shut down our devices, spend this, time together. So then how do we do this? Because in a way to break a bad habit or set a good habit, we need to do it minimum 21 days, because there is scientific evidence that when you do one thing for 21 days continuously and consistently, you create new neural pathways in your brain for that particular habit. So I said 21. He said, no, we're doing 30 days. Let's do 1 month of this thing so that we come back to you after 1 month and we set a new goal. So we actually strategize something within the session to make it a 30-day goal, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was really exciting walking out of there because we now have a challenge to do together, and we progress. And so we're seeing you this weekend. It's marked 30 days now. And yeah, I just want to share a quick summary is that we've learned a lot about ourselves and our family throughout this whole month. The kids love it more than us, which serves the purpose anyway, right? We said we wanted to be more present with the family, although it has been very challenging to make it work between me and my husband, because he'll tell you on the weekend where his perspective of the goal was that sit down dinner and talk, sit down. And as you know, my kids are 6 and 8 years old. They are not going to sit there for a whole hour and talk. That is not fun for them. It might be fun for this party, but here's what I've learned. We just haven't really set all the rules around it. We said to him, he's thinking very literally 1 hour, sitting down, talk and eat. But in reality, with depending on your kids' ages, that 1 hour is very long and they can't sit still. So of course, me being the type that's very adaptable, I said that we'll play some games and we'll just think of things to kill time that as long as we're together. And so that's been really challenging. So I'm going to let him talk to you because he says, well, you're the one that's changing the rule. I said, it's dinner time. And so, yeah, there were a few times where he really struggled to play those games and stuff like that, but it's gone better. But at the end of the day, the kids are now going, it's 7 o'clock, Mum. It's our 1 hour time, or it's 6 o'clock. Or we haven't done that. So they love it so much, which is a really great thing. So yeah, I'm excited to share all that on the weekend with you.
Yeah, I just can't to hear that. Strategies around that is obviously small kids. And, now you've given a responsibility to Philip, right? And it was, I want to do this right. We've got a plan. We've got to go by the plan. But as you said, you're agile and adaptable. And how do you bring both your strengths together to make this work? Maybe one day is cooking. One day is watching television together. One day is watching, not your social media, but an activity that you'd love doing. Yeah. Maybe a pottery, maybe something, but that has to interest everyone. So probably one day might not be an activity that's very intriguing to you, but you would still pitch in. One day it might not be very interesting to Philip, but he would still do it for the kids. So
actually, maybe this is where we really need to bring the kids involved and get them to compromise and say, since it's a family thing, sometimes it's not just about you, it's also about us. What can we do that's fun for us as well? But so far, it's been all about the kids, right? So we're playing, we've been very creative, hide and seek and playing animal games and guessing things. And of course, this is not what my husband expected, but we have found some activities that are that are neutral that kind of made it easy for us all to play. However, this is what I want to emphasize is that I feel like with anything in life, it's not about set and forget and you're like, yep, I created a goal and I'm done. I'm doing. This is why we've locked you in for the next month, because now it's about revisiting what worked, what didn't work, how do you modify it, right? Because it's not that the goal was bad or it didn't work. It's just that you just have to fix certain things. And then once you master that, you can then go on to something else. But there's always room to keep growing, right?
Yes, 100%. And that's what it's all about. And we need to understand feedback. We do a strategy, we see what works, what doesn't work. It's a new strategy. And then we come back and tweak it until it works. We don't let go of the goal. We might just change the path, but we don't let go of the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Uma, for your time today. If anyone's listening to this and you want to take your family life serious, well, I believe that you seriously should contact Uma. I've been working with her for many, many years now, and she's helped me through so many personal challenges as well as family or business. She's very adaptable as well. She can hear whatever problem and kind of be able to guide you in the right direction. So thank you so much, Uma, for your time again today. I can't wait to talk to you more this weekend.
Thank you. See you. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Bye. Well, thank you so much for watching, guys. Love to hear in the comments below, what do you think your family values are? Even just the number one value that you think you and your husband and your kids value most. Thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you in the next episode.